Noah always felt like he was a few steps behind everyone else, as if life had handed out instructions to everyone but him. At night, lying in bed, he'd scroll through perfect photos and curated lives, wondering what it felt like to belong inside someone else's skin. It seemed like the world was full of people who had figured it out, polished, confident, sculpted, while he remained unfinished stone. So he began to chip away at himself, quietly, methodically, replacing pieces of who he was with pieces of who he thought he should be. He styled his hair like the influencers did, learned the trending phrases, joined the conversations he never cared for, and smiled at all the right moments.
It worked. People noticed him more, laughed at his jokes, complimented his style, invited him into rooms he never thought he'd enter.
But inside, something began to wither, like a voice that once spoke clearly had started to whisper, or maybe gone silent altogether. He laughed even when he didn't find it funny, nodded at ideas he didn't agree with, and said yes when everything in him wanted to say no. Each morning, the face in the mirror looked more defined, more socially acceptable, but less like the boy he used to be. Somewhere along the line, he had stopped trying to be better and had started trying to be someone else entirely. One evening, while sitting alone in a quiet cafe, an older woman sat beside him, her silver hair pulled back neatly, her coat thick with years of wear, and her eyes full of calm. She looked at him, not past him, not through him, but into him, and said softly, "You've carved yourself into someone else's shape. Do you remember your own?" Noah blinked, caught off guard by the truth in her words, truth he had buried under effort and imitation. "Stone is beautiful," she said, "but not when it forgets it was already a form before the cutting." That night, for the first time in months, he didn't reach for his phone. Instead, he sat in the dark, remembering who he was before the edits. The boy who liked quiet, the teen who drew strange faces in notebooks, the man who once spoke from the gut without asking permission. The next morning, he started to peel things away. The voice he'd borrowed, the clothes he wore for praise, the opinions that weren't his. He felt clumsy, uncertain, but strangely free, like standing barefoot on ground that had always been his. Some people drifted away when they saw the changes, but the ones who stayed, they saw him now. Not the image, the man. And for the first time in a very long time, Noah didn't wish he were anyone else. He was simply Noah, and that finally felt like enough.